when that sacral center is cut off, there are a multitude of reasons why that sacral center can be cut off. And so if I'm not able to, if as my partner, you're not able to identify my needs sexually or emotionally, then there's obviously a disconnect there. And so like, if I'm not in the mood, you should, as my partner, to some extent know how to activate that energy to be able to
get you in the mood.
Get your partner in the mood. Now, obviously, by design in human nature, not everything is 100%. It's just not what it is. So your partner is not going to be available to you 100% of the time. That's emotionally, physically, mentally, like everybody, has to have some space for themselves as well. So,
I don't want to get off topic, but since you brought that up, I got a question. Why do you think it is that when you're single, it's like, oh, we gonna, and then all of a sudden you lock it in. It's like, do you think it was like a type thing?
Well, it's the access. Because when you're single, you don't have access to daily dick, right? Especially if the dude has something going on, and vice versa.
Daily.
So it's like, because I remember like with me and my husband, when I met him in college, like he lived off campus, I lived on. So I didn't have the easy access to the dick whenever I wanted, right?
Can we use another word? I think he's still recording.
Oh.
I appreciate that. Go ahead, Ms.
Easy access, right? And so with that distance, it made it better because we just didn't have it all the time, right? So you look forward to it, but then once you get married, I guess that access kind of
all the time,
right? It kind of wears off. It loses its newness, I guess, because it's there. Like when you get a brand new car, a new picture or something, you just love it. But then after it sits there for a while, it's not that you don't love it, you just don't notice it as much, right? You don't until maybe something happens. You be like, Dad, I still love this picture, right? I think that's the same thing with being in a marriage and be like, I'm not gonna lie, there's but so much you can do to how everybody says, oh, you just gotta spice it up. Oh, hang from the ceiling, do this. But after you've been together for a lifetime, you know what I'm saying? You've tried everything, you've done everything. So it's gonna have to be something else. And that's where, like, I think Lauren was saying, like the emotional part will come in, because again, with the whole cycles, I think in the 20s, I think your sex drive for women and for men are at a higher rate. Men, I think, will always be higher in that stage. But then when you get into your 30s, it may wane a little bit, especially from a woman's perspective, especially when you have children and everybody needing you for this and that or whatever, it kind of wanes. But then in your 40s, at least what I'm finding out now, is that my sex drive has increased. Right. And so now I am like, yeah, let's go. But now he's at a point where his has dropped a little bit, where I say, I think that's by design, I guess, getting that last, bit of, you don't have any problem, you don't need to be being a brand new daddy at 50, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that whole like physical aspect that men go through, I think I was reading that their testosterone levels begin to drop or whatever after they hit like in their 30s or mid 30s. So I think that kind of balances things out. But I noticed as I've gotten older, I've been a lot hornier, right? So even though I'm married, I do reach over and I get my toy because I know he's right there knocked out. I'm not going to wake him up, but you know what I'm saying? I'll handle that myself real quick, and that's that. Like, I don't have, I don't have any issue with that.
Valid perspectives. I think I view it just a little bit differently in the sense that, to y'all's points, there are, obviously our needs by design are a little different. But being able, that's, I think, one of those things about partnership. Like, I've been in a long-term relationship as well. And there speaks to, when that sacral center is cut off, there are a multitude of reasons why that sacral center can be cut off. And so if I'm not able to, if as my partner, you're not able to identify my needs sexually or emotionally, then there's obviously a disconnect there. And so like if I'm not in the mood, you should, as my partner, to some extent, know how to activate that energy to be able to
get you in the mood.
Get your partner in the mood. Now, obviously, by design in human nature, not everything is 100%. It's just not what it is. So your partner is not going to be available to you 100% of the time. That's emotionally, physically, mentally, like everybody, has to have some space for themselves as well, some space for friends, some space for family. Like, to Lauren's point, we all kind of have our role. I do feel like to associate that sacral center with like seasons or, saying like, oh, women, we're not as sexually available as men, or that men are sacrificing access to sex by being in a monogamous relationship is kind of, there's a compatibility to me there that's kind of missing, where it's like my sacral center and your sacral center shouldn't be cut off because we're choosing monogamy. Me choosing better for myself means that you add to that energy. And so I should, be excited to share that space with you. Obviously, you go through your ups and downs, and through those ups and downs, that energy fluctuates as well. But I feel like if a husband or a wife is in, or a partner, whatever, girlfriend, whatever, if you're in a situation to where your sacral center is not activated for that person, especially for an extended period of time, there is a reason why. And you should probably figure out that reason why. Just like with womb space, the body literally speaks to you, and you will be, in a relationship with someone and wonder why your body is literally in a state of dis-ease, whether for women that's constant BV, or whether, your sacral center ain't activated. There is a reason, and that can be mere compatibility energetically with that individual. Like, how like sometimes you just know something, you just like, it's that instinct, it's that energy. And so I do feel like, if that energy ain't there, there's a reason why that energy is not there. And either that's something that should, you all can talk about to learn how to keep activated and cultivated as much as possible. Or maybe your body is really trying to communicate something with you and you're just not listening.